going. Turn down the depth. Hey, this is Doug. I'm at DJ Wedgebets on Twitter, and thanks for checking out my first ever videocast. Um, why now? Well, number one, my house is nice and quiet. I have to leave shortly to go have Christmas Eve dinner, but I got a few minutes now, and not much going on with work, so thought we'd talk about these new hockey divisions and how we're looking to bet them. Um, and we got the schedules out yesterday too. We got a lot of hockey starting January 13th. Hockey every day until May. It's gonna be amazing. So, um, let's bring up the. Let's see here. That. There we go. These are the new hockey divisions for 2021. Um, we'll start with the All Canadian division, the North, the Great White North, to be exact. So here, you got to look at Toronto as being the favorite to come out of this division. I did bet them at 13-1 to win the cup, which seems like I do every year, and they usually, at some point have an early first round exit. Um, but there's just so much talent on this team um, with Dino Tavares and Marner and Austin Matthews. Um, and now they got Joe Thornton as for some veteran leadership. I just feel, in the way these divisions are set up, they're certainly primed to come out of this division on top. Um, a lot of these teams, excuse me, you're gonna be beating up on Ottawa um, all year. So, um, yeah, they can. I feel like they are certainly one of the ones to come out of the North. Along with, I feel like Vancouver. Vancouver, I also placed a bet on at 25-1 to win the cup, which is on the other way on me. So I would shop around. I think DraftKings right now is somewhere around 37-1. Um, but being in Massachusetts, I can't bet DraftKings because Massachusetts can't figure out how to pass a sports betting law yet. So I have to go to either New Hampshire or Jersey to bet on DraftKings. Um, so yeah, just get it done, Massachusetts, will you? It's super it's easy. An easy thing to do. No one's against it. Just pass it. Um, anyways, Vancouver. I thought they had a really good playoff run. Um, anchored by Demko, who really I think surprised a lot of people and probably surprised the team itself. And that's why they were able to let Markstrom go to Calgary. And then not only that, but they got a good backup with Braden Holtby too. Now a Canuck, so that's a good 1-2 punch there. And I think with the way that this season is going to go, a lot of games in a short amount of time. You got a lot of back to backs. You're going to have, um, you know, you're going to need to rely on your backup goalie, or else you're going to just completely kill your number one. So I think teams with putting a lot of faith in teams with good tandems. Um, because of the way that the schedule is this year. So I like Vancouver. Edmonton, of course, they got Draisaitl and McDavid, so you got a 1-2 punch like that. Um, I think you're always got the chance to outscore your opponent. I remember they went on a great overrun in the playoffs. That was a fun one to ride. For your first period overs and game overs, team total overs, that was very profitable. Um, because they don't have a great goaltending situation right now. So they're letting in a lot too. So they're going to win a lot of like these 5-4 games, type of thing, I think. And then the other team I think is going to come out will of this division will be Montreal. Um, they'll be one of I think they'll be one of the four that make the playoffs out of this division. They got Jake Allen from St. Louis to back up Carey Price. So again, that's a pretty good. While Carey Price is still clearly the number one, that's a pretty good backup to lean on in Jake Allen now. So Calgary uh, improved their goaltending situation with Jacob Markstrom from Vancouver. Um, I just wonder where a lot of their scoring is going to come from. Um, Goudreau, I thought had a real down year last year. Um, so that makes me question how much scoring ability they're going to have. Um, but they could get the four. It could be one of the four in this division. So, but I'm going to go Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Edmonton. Winnipeg. I like Hellebuck as a goalie. I think he's one of the best, certainly in the NHL. But it's ride or die with him. I don't think I don't think they've got enough um, offense there to to be one of the teams. So, and then Ottawa, they're the team that everyone's going to beat up on this year, that division. So, um, so that's the North, and then in the West, I think this is where you have the clear, um, playoff contenders in Colorado, Vegas, and St. Louis. Colorado's the overall favorite to win the cup. They're at 6-1. I have them at 7-1. Um, I just, yeah, I think their goaltending situation last year in the playoffs really killed them. They had to rely on a third string backup to get through the playoffs. And I think if they have Francouz and Francouz, tomato tomato. I think if he's healthy and Grubauer's healthy, um, that'll be enough for them with just a great offensive team. Um, so I feel certainly they'll be the one to come out of the West. I'd be surprised if they weren't. Um, but you can see how this goes. I mean, Vegas is solid goaltending tandem. Um, you know, with Lehner and Flurry. So that can take them a long ways. St. Louis, um, again, the solid team. They got Torrey Krug from Boston to help out in defense. Um, so I think they'll definitely be one of the four in this division to make the playoffs. And then the other one, I mean, Arizona, maybe. I like Darcy Kemper a lot. Um, but who's scoring on that team? They really got embarrassed in the playoffs by Colorado. So there could be a lot of like, Colorado can just eat up on a lot of these teams. I think in this division. Um, Los Angeles, Anaheim, San Jose, and maybe Arizona. Like they can beat up on those teams all regular season long. Um, but I do think Arizona might have enough there to come out of this division. Minnesota, um, you know, they got to rely on Cam Talbot now in net because Stalock is out the foreseeable future. So Cam Talbot's not really a number one goalie in my eyes. So uh, I think they're gonna have a rough year. So I'm gonna go with Arizona over Minnesota to make the playoffs. While Anaheim, LA, Minnesota, and San Jose will be out. In the Central, um, yeah, I got to start with Tampa Bay because we just got the news yesterday that Nikita Kucherov will be out for the regular season, which is a huge blow to them. I saw their odds go from 6-1 to plus 750 in spots. So, um, the defending Stanley Cup champs, I think, are gonna while they shouldn't have any problems making the playoffs. Um, I feel like you got the two teams in the finals last year. They got Dallas in their own division. Um, so Dallas, even they're not going to have Tyler Sagan to start. Um, and Hudobin, was that really who he was in the playoffs? Was is he that legit? Um, I know him from his days as a backup in Boston, and I mean he was okay. He wasn't that good, um, but he was sensational in the playoffs. He carried that team. So we're gonna need to see some more of that if you want to see Dallas make it out of this division because you got Sagan out, and that team lacks scoring punch. You know, they're another under team. Um, so a lot of 2-1, 3-2 wins, I think, with them. Um, Carolina, I like. Mainly, they got a good tandem in Mrazek and Reimer, and a lot of scoring punch. I feel like there with Sebastian Aho and Svechnikov. Um, I think they can put the puck in the net. So I like them to come out. Chicago, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know they got Tays and Kane, but you got Malcolm Subban as your number one. What are you thinking? You gotta you gotta get somebody else. Um, because no more Leonard, no more Corey Crawford. Um, so maybe Columbus would be the number four. When you get Tortorella, it's just always seems to has this team ready, and it's always a team that you never think is going to be there. And then they're always overachieving at the end. So I can't count them out. You know, um, so I'm looking at Tampa Bay, Dallas, Carolina, and Columbus as the playoff teams in this division. Um, I didn't see enough improvement out of Nashville, really. In Detroit, they're gonna have ways to go before they're back to their old selves. Um, Now the East, I think, might be um, probably the toughest division in the NHL this season. Um, there's one bad team, New Jersey, and then the rest. I mean, I can make a case for any of these teams, really. To be a playoff team. This is gonna be a real battle. Um, Boston, I don't feel they did much of anything this offseason, and they lost Torrey Krug to St. Louis, as I discussed. Chara, free agent. Don't know if he's coming back. So they're gonna have to rely on their defense for McAvoy and Grzelcyk, and then who else? Um, plus they got Pasternak, gonna be out until probably February. Marchand's hurt. Bergeron's hurt. They're still hoping they'll get them back for the beginning of the year. Um, Jake DeBrusk, I like that signing. I think he can really step up for the Bruins and provide a little bit more scoring punch for them when um, they rely so heavily on that first line of Bergeron, Pasternak, and Marchand. And now if you're going to have that line at all, so it's going to be up to Krejci, it's going to be up to DeBrusk, um, you know, to help out there. Um, but I still think with Raskin net, they're good enough to um, and Halak, he played, he came in and took over when Tuca opted out in the playoffs, and he played, decent, and he's a capable backup. So I think you know that'll take him far. So I think they could still, and then they're 14-1 right now. But I don't think that's good value really on them to win the cup. But they will make the playoffs. I did ask Jeff Davis from Caesars this week on Twitter about division odds. If he was going to put up odds soon for teams to win the division, he did say he was going to work on it and have something this weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing those numbers for sure. Buffalo, this is a team I think might be the most improved. I have a lot of hopes for Buffalo, and they got Taylor Hall with Jack Eichel, and while they don't have great goaltending, I think it might be good enough get them through. Excuse me. But I have hopes for Buffalo at least being one of the playoff teams. Um, I'm not confident enough in them yet to put a uh, Stanley Cup future on them. But I'm hoping when those division odds come out that they will be somewhere around um, 20-1 win the East. You know, that might be worth a look. Um, New Jersey, no, sorry. Um, it's just not going to happen with Corey Schneider and Kenzie Blackwood in that. And they were just this very disappointing team last year. Excuse me. Islanders had a good run. Um, Again, that I kind of wonder if they can do it, if they can keep that up again this year. I think it's going to be a real battle, and because I think the Rangers are improved too. The Rangers, um, a full year of Shesterkin between the pipes, I think is going to be much improved for them. And also, you got number one pick Lafreniere um, now, so I think the Rangers and the Sabres are probably the most going to hopefully be the most improved teams. Um, Philly and Pittsburgh, both good number one goaltenders um, with Carey Hart and um, Tristan Jarry in net for Pittsburgh. Um, yeah, Pittsburgh just seems to disappoint. It seems like they're trending in the wrong direction. Um, and I don't know if they've done enough in the offseason to make up for that. So kind of down on them, and I'm kind of down on the Flyers unless I see a little bit more scoring out of them. I remember they had a really tough time scoring in the playoffs. They were under team to bet all the way. So I like to see some more scoring punch out of them. Washington, a team that we know has scoring punch, but what happened to them in the playoffs? Is that an overall team issue? Is that a coach issue? Um, we'll have to see. And now, Hopi's in Vancouver, and they have Samsonov in net for them. So they're gonna lean on him as their number one now. Let's see if how he handles it. So there, you know, but they still, you still got Ovechkin, you still got Backstrom, and you got a lot of good scoring punch there. So I'm gonna say in the East, Boston, Rangers, Washington, and Buffalo, and you know, we'll see what happens with. Um, it could be the Islanders too. I mean, the Islanders, they could be the four, over Washington. But I'll stick with Washington now just because of, you know, um, their scoring punch over the Islanders. Um, but they've got to get some things fixed in Washington for sure. There's something not right, that team. So that's quick look at the divisions for this year and how we might approach betting them. I'll come back maybe do another one of these in like a week or two when we get those division numbers from Jeff and um, whatever news and notes we got before we get rolling here on January 13th. Very excited um, to get going and have hockey back. Um, been betting a lot of uh, Premier League and a lot of football overseas to get me through. And of course, American football too. Um, there's a lot of interesting games this weekend. But today I just wanted to focus on the hockey and because I'm very excited about hockey coming. So um, have a good Christmas, good holiday. Thanks for checking this out. Hopefully it'll get better. And yeah, so have a good one. I'm gonna take you out with some more Deftones, which I absolutely fucking love this album. Um, let's go with Spell of Mathematics. Take us out. Right? Cool. Later.